But how many of us get caught in this sea of sameness when our intent is pure to serve our clients, but we're so head down in the transaction and the project we need to work on, we can lose sight of zooming out on what is serving the greater good, what is serving our cultures. Are we seeing ourselves as human beings? Because how many of you in this room, the greater the title you have achieved, the more success you had, people started to see you just as a title or entity and forget to see you as a person. Well, if we want to get back to what it is to be human and to connect and build these relationships, what is our starting point? And I believe that first habit is the idea of making our small talk bigger. Now, some of you might be thinking, small talk, look, okay, that was one of the great things of the pandemic. We didn't have to do the superficial stuff. But look at this opportunity this week. I love seeing the conversations at the reception last night and the energy in that room. And maybe you're that introvert that just thinks, small talk, that's not my thing. How many of us look at small talk as this defense mechanism that prevents us from the embarrassment of getting emotional in front of someone that we don't know? Or maybe we're afraid we're going to strike a nerve with that person in front of us. Maybe that's a client, maybe that's a teammate. And we shy away from the real conversation that needs to be had to lift them up, and we keep it at the surface. Well, if we want to begin to make our small talk bigger, how can we prompt and get intentional about prompting positive emotion, even if we only have 2 minutes to check in with our people? And a simple way to do this is work I credit to the late psychiatrist Gordon Livingston. And his work focused on the happiness equation, where he found the happiest people, if you have no context of the person in front of you, you have a truncated amount of time, and you want to connect on a human level, he found the happiest people have 3 things in common. They have something to do, they have someone to love, and they have something to look forward to. So imagine you are checking in with someone. Tell me about what makes you come alive. What are you creating? What is that meaningful pursuit that lights you up? What are the relationships that matter most to you? And think about all of us in this room. What are you looking forward to here at GPC 2024 and beyond when you go back to your home, to your teams, to your communities? And I think the responses we give are a big part of this too, because sometimes we are just in autopilot mode when we're moving so fast. You know, when we check in with people, hey, how are you? Good? Yeah, all right, good. And then we just jump into the task at hand. What if, and this is an invitation for each and every one of us, for someone that checks in with you this week or when you go home, when someone says, how are you, you replace good with a different word. You know, today I'm optimistic. I'm intrigued. I'm struggling. And watch how our response is an invitation to take the conversation deeper. You know, I'll never forget being in the green room, about to go out for a 5-minute interview on business leadership, and I had a leader beside me. We exchanged formalities, and I said, all right, just give me one word. What's one word to describe where you're at? And she looked at me, and she smiled, and she said, I'm feeling flawless. I was like, damn, I'll have what she's having. But the one word allowed a new dynamic to be born. So what's one word you can replace and break out of autopilot mode instead of good? And when it happens, and when that rapport begins to build and we have our regular meetings and our regular conversations, how can we ask first and talk second? And ask the questions that ChatGPT cannot answer. Because the beautiful part of what is going on right now with generative AI, technology has provided this powerful tool for efficiency with brainstorming. But we need the power of human connection to create breakthroughs in our conversations.